I want to thank you for taking a few moments and joining me. The purpose of this video is to kind of share some summary information for our church boards as you all meet to choose delegates. Online, you'll be able to find the Townhall that we had for Bass Academy. That video is about 50 minutes long, but I wanted to create something shorter just to share with your boards as you look at delegates. Up on the screen, you'll just see now the conference subsidies. And I want to share this because this is what we have as a conference put in supporting Bass over the last few years. You can see that the budget amount that we do is between $400,000 and $434,000, but you can see what it's actually been costing us, and you can see how those costs have escalated. As we finish the 2024 year, you capture an idea that in the calendar year of 2024 as a conference, we were going to put in about $2 million there to Bass Academy. And we don't have the money for that. And so you'll notice there that we had to pull about $1.6 million out of reserves in 2024 to meet the losses that were unbudgeted there at Bass Academy. And really with these losses, there's no way that we can have a balanced budget as we see those losses. And so that's kind of what's driven us. We're not focusing a lot on that. I want to talk a moment about some of the challenges that Bass Academy has. And of course, we just talked a little bit about the costs just continue to increase. We've faced recruiting challenges as many parents are wanting to keep their children at home or bring them closer to them for Adventist education. The economics of our conference are difficult for our families to pay. I mean, $20,000 for a high school education can be difficult when you look at the average wages in Mississippi, Alabama. Also, we're up against the Florida Step Up program that provides $7,000 to any private school. And what we see is there's at least 2 schools that are working on having a day high school. So your child would be able to attend a Seventh-day Adventist high school and it wouldn't cost the family anything. And so when you go to recruit in that environment and you say, well, we could provide Adventist education there close to home that wouldn't cost you with the Step Up program, or you could send them away and pay $20,000, it really makes the recruiting difficult. In addition to that, starting in the fall, Alabama begins its program as well, the Choose Act, which creates an opportunity for $7,000 for each student. There's a rollout over the next couple of years, but we already have parents looking into that program. So again, recruiting becomes increasingly difficult in this environment. I want to talk to you for a moment. There was a professor who asked this question: what business are you in? That's kind of a profound question for us, and it really stopped us for a minute. When we really think about Adventist education, what business are we in? And so that professor encouraged to make sure you know what business you're in. He used this famous illustration that I'm sure you have heard of. He talks about how the railroads thought they were in the railroad business, and they didn't realize that they were really in the transportation business. And we've given a lot of thought to that in this process. I want to be clear that we are in the Adventist education business. We're not in the boarding academy business. So what does that mean? What it means is we need to provide Adventist education in the most effective way possible. And so as we start revisioning Adventist education, we realize that what we need to do is get Adventist education closer to our families. That's where they're wanting to be served. Not only bringing it closer to our families, but creating more opportunities for our families. I shared with you, it looks like this next year we'll have 6 total day academy high schools in our conference. And so understanding that we are in the Adventist education business not the boarding academy business. The boarding academy's role is to serve Adventist education, but it is not the center of Adventist education. And so our committee has developed plans that begin to move us forward. And so here's the idea to create a new vision of Adventist education. And the first component of that, as I mentioned, is to bring Adventist education closer to our families. This means providing the infrastructure and support to increase the number of opportunities, high school opportunities, day school opportunities for members of our conference. And I shared a little bit about the growth that we're seeing in that. The second thing we need to do is be able to help our elementary schools. For churches that have elementary schools, they've seen these costs escalate as well. And so this new plan provides additional subsidy, $1,000 additional subsidy for every student in your school from the conference. These funds are coming from the reallocation of funds from BASS, reallocating them back to understanding we're in the education business. How do we build education? And so we see it by increasing the number of day schools. We see it by increasing the financial support of our elementary school. The third thing we want to do is make sure that if someone wants a boarding academy experience, they can still have that. And so the Bass Academy Legacy Endowment will provide those $5,000 scholarships to students who want to participate in that boarding academy experience. We talked about some of the academies that are available: Ozark, Highland, Georgia Cumberland, Pisgah. Any Adventist academy that is accredited is available. You know, the last thing is a special assistance fund. We've got schools that sometimes challenge with needing some capital funds. And so as we've taken those funds from Bass Academy and saying we're going to focus on Adventist education, we're providing some resources there as well. I know this transition is difficult, and I want to share a thought with you. We think that the new vision of Adventist education, emphasizing day schools, supporting elementary schools, providing academy options for families or children, students who want that, it meets the needs of our conference. It meets the needs of everyone that we can see who wants to participate in Adventist education. So we see this transition from the boarding school to a new vision doesn't leave young people out of opportunities. It actually multiplies the opportunities for Seventh-day Adventist education in our conference. Whether you want a day school experience in one of these new schools, or whether you want to be a part of that boarding academy experience. We're excited about this new vision. You'll be able to go to the website and pull the document down there that has the information for this new vision, and I would encourage you all to take a few moments to take a look at that document. What's next for the campus of Bass Academy? I want to let you know that we are working with the local church there to utilize some of the buildings for their local elementary school or missions that they have. We do have, and you'll see there on the screen, a agreement in principle to lease a large part of the facilities to an Adventist supporting ministry. That would be exciting. It would be huge for our conference. This would mean individuals would be moving in to minister, to work. They would be a part of our churches. They would be serving in our field. It will be a wonderful opportunity to grow the ministry of our conference as well as utilize the assets of the campus. Most campuses, when this transition happens, don't end up being able to be repurposed for ministry. So I'm excited that we're looking forward to doing that. Also, by doing that repurpose, we're able to continue to use the academy for camp meetings, for alumni days. This would be powerful, and it would be an important part of our conference. So what's the next step? Well, the next step here is to review some of the information that we've given you. You'll be able to go on the website. You can pull down the January 7th letter. You can look at the Townhall meeting. That's 51 minutes if you want to dive more in depth. We're asking you as a board to choose delegates And then we're asking for those delegates to be a part of the June 8th special constituency. There's going to be a town hall meeting just for the delegates to try to help provide information and answer any questions that they have. And then there'll be an opportunity for us to meet on June 8th and vote to move forward. We're asking you to support us in this transition. We know it's a large transition, but it's an exciting transition. Understanding that we are not in the boarding academy business, as beautiful as it is, we are in the Adventist education business. We're excited for this transition. If you'll notice in the January 7th letter, it talked about some of the outcomes of this decision for our conference. It includes things like increased opportunities, a balanced budget for our conference so that we're able to continue to support other ministries. Exciting things are before us. I want to ask you to join us as we go back to the core business of Adventist education in our Gulf States Conference. We're asking that the delegates will support the dissolution of Bass so that we can move forward with the campus and move forward with our main business, which is Adventist education. Thank you for being willing to be a part of this special transition and moment in Gulf States Conference.